YouTube, who is ready for some Warriors of Chaos versus Wood Elves? I hope you are, because that's what you're about to see. Hey, let me start this thing off by thanking a couple of the patrons who are donating to me on Patreon. Just want to call them out for being such big, awesome supporters, and I appreciate them. So Brian Akers and Xavier Rodriguez, I'm going to call you guys out tonight and say thank you for being a big part of supporting the channel. I hope you enjoy the content. I love making it for you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support. It means a lot, and it does a great deal to help keep the videos rolling. Hey, so sorry I missed a day of recording. I had to work late. I had team members, so I have 4 engineers who work for me, and we're responsible for rolling out a bunch of projects across the logistics network that I work for, and we had some big stuff going on, so we were all in town together. Typically, they're kind of spread out across the country, so I don't get to see them that often. So we were working late, getting some stuff done. Wanted to grab some dinner together, so that's why I couldn't record last night. So engineering error, yes. Let's check out this Chaos Army I got. So I believe I have 5 Forsaken. Or no, it's 4 Forsaken. Yeah, 4 Forsaken. I've got 2 Aspiring Champions, and they're out in the center. 2 Chaos Marauders, and then I've got 1 Feral Manticore, 1 Death Sorcerer on a Manticore, and then my Lord is on a Manticore, of course with the healing potion. And I have 1 Chaos Knights with Lances and Barding. Is it Lances? Chaos Knights with Lances, no Barding. No Barding. So I go ahead and Spirit Leech one of his Eagles because I expected this to be kind of a nasty fight. One that I may not actually even win because he's got a Branch Wraith. And he could potentially heal, but he takes this engagement way too far off, and he gets kind of flat-footed here. He's worried about some engagements that are taking place near the center, and kind of misses this, and his Lord just gets face pounded, and by the time he recognizes it, he just takes off running with his Eagles. So I'm like, alright, you run as much as you want. I'm going to pull these guys right back over to the center. And I want to talk about something that a lot of people may not be real familiar with, but it needs to be pointed out. So Wood Elves don't have a lot of armor on their infantry units. Forsaken do really, really good against units with low armor, like really good. And you're going to see that here. I mean, they are just absolutely wrecking these guys, and it's because their weapon strength is absurd. It doesn't do armor piercing, but it's really high. So when a unit doesn't have armor, there's nothing to stop it, and the Forsaken just do huge amounts of damage. Now his Eagles come back, but by this point I'm already down into his archers. My Chaos Knights are getting around the flanks. These Knights over here just absolutely crushed some Wild Riders. Wild Riders are probably not quite up to snuff to take on Chaos Knights with Lances. These guys just hit too hard, have too much armor. And you can see he's doing a lot of work to try and get rid of my flying units, though. But his archers are about to be a little bit distracted. I've got Chaos Knights pushing in here and here, so most of his archers are going to be shut down here in one swift charge, and then the center of his forces are being torn apart. None of his infantry units are really well suited, and I mean, he's got some units sitting around. He's having a slow time reacting here, and his Branch Wraith was out of position most of the time for healing his Eagles. So he just wasn't able to use the healing on his Branch Wraith, and like I said, the Forsaken just absolutely murdering his unarmored infantry. The Knights with Lances running amok, and then his Eagles, after losing the Lord very quickly and early on, the Chaos Flying unit's able to maintain dominance in the air. Now his Lord did come back from routing, and it's a Glade Lord. She's riding back this way, but she's pretty heavily damaged. You can see I still have all 3 of my flying units, and I see some archers firing kind of annoyingly at my Lords, or my Manticores. My Manticore Corps. So I'm going to send these Chaos Knights. Look at them just bowling everything out of the way. These guys having a brutal charge bonus. Lots of mass. Very dangerous units. And I'm going to go chase off even more of his archers over here. And then his Lord is headed back this way. I'm going to bring my Sorcerer over. I didn't have to use my Sorcerer a whole lot. I used like probably 2 or 3 Spirit Leeches. My Sorcerer would have best been used while it was fighting back here. I definitely should have dropped like a Doom and Darkness or something, or Soul Blight, and I could have broken up his troops even faster, but you know, I was doing pretty well, so I wasn't severely worried about it here. So after another Spirit Leech, his Lord's in rough shape. I think he did get a little bit of healing from the Branch Wraith, though I could be wrong. Let's check it out. The Glade Lord, yeah, he'd gotten some healing. Anyway, so that was a pretty clear victory for me against that elf army, and then I had an opportunity to fight with another chaos army. This one some of you may recognize as the double Shaggoth type of build here. And once again, I'm gambling. If he goes with an all-tree army with Durthu, this could be kind of scary for me. I'd have to see how it works out. But because he's gone with, again, a lot of elf infantry, my Forsaken, and there's 5 of them this time, Forsaken are going to be brutal. Even these Wildwood Rangers are going to be in really big trouble up against the Forsaken. They just don't have the armor or the melee defense to really hold off Forsaken. And then if you look at the charge bonus here, 22, whereas Forsaken coming in with a 39 charge bonus. So definitely a dangerous unit now. Again, he's got, this time the player has a, I believe it's a Glade Lady, yeah, Glade Lady Lord up on this dragon. And immediately she used arrows of Kurnos, Kurnos, whatever. Did some damage to my Chaos Sorcerer. And I'm going to run my double Shaggoths over here. I saw the arrows of Kurnos come off of a Waystalker. So I'm going to run my double Shaggoths this way. I can't see the Waystalker, and he knows I'm coming this way. And honestly, Wild Riders don't have a snowball's chance against double Shaggoth. So they're probably going to retreat as well. And I'm going to go ahead and take the engagement. I'm going to let my Marauders absorb the charge of these Treekin. Now these are the only armored units, really, that the Wood Elves have. And I'm a little bit scared of them. But I figure with my Chaos Sorcerer of Death, we can scare them out of the fight because they are susceptible to leadership loss, even though they are immune to psychology, I believe. So my double Shaggoths here. I go ahead and ignore the Waystalker for a second, and then decide, nope, I'm going to turn around. So I come in, I'm going to start beating the crap out of the Waystalker, and I'm going to go ahead and come attack. So his Dragon Lord Lady here is wanting to skirmish with me, and I'm like, alright, go ahead. I'm just going to go kill your Spellsinger since you don't want to get in here and fight. And then, of course, he drops the Prey of Anath Rama, or whatever it is. Anath Rama. And I'm going to go ahead and keep chasing the Spellsinger momentarily with my one unit. Again, interesting that the dragon doesn't follow up here while I'm netted. And you can see here that he's got this Sisters of the Thorn firing at my Dragon Ogres, but it's just not enough. The Dragon Ogres are wrecking Wildwood Rangers, they're wrecking the cavalry. It's just really a no-brainer. And then if you look in the center, my Forsaken wrapped up the flanks extremely quick, and we're then able to end up wrapping around behind the Treekin, so now they're getting hit from behind. And it's just not good for the Treekin. And you can see my Dragon Ogres out here in the distance fighting the enemy Lord, and then I'm going to charge my Lord down there as well, so we should be able to kill the Forest Dragon. Beautiful, beautiful game in terms of graphics. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many Forsaken, and they've got the enemy completely surrounded. I go ahead and drop the, I think it's Soul Blight. Yep, Soul Blight. So we're going to really put the hurt on the enemy units because they were already suffering from a leadership standpoint. I'm going to break these guys up. The Spellsinger, Lore of Shadows was what they had here on an Eagle. And that Spellsinger, I said Lore of Life earlier, that's my bad. So, Lore of Shadows, Spellsinger was driven off, and the center of the Wood Elf army just gets absolutely smashed. Just completely and totally smashed. I did lose one Dragon Ogre, but the other one's still alive and quite healthy. Sisters of the Thorn tried to come into melee, and then they get terrorized. And that's about it. Decisive victory for Chaos there against the Elves. So, couple of pretty convincing victories over the Wood Elf players. Not to say that neither they nor I didn't make mistakes. We did on both sides, and obviously I think there was some miss micro the first time from my opponent, and there was definitely some miss micro here. But at the same time, what can he do to stop the Shaggoths? He just doesn't have the right composition here. He doesn't have enough arrows to do damage quickly to the Dragon Ogres, and plus they have some resistance to missiles because I think of the scaly skin. But I mean, when you think about what he has available here, the Forsaken just chew apart any of these units that are anti-large that would have tried to have a prayer of helping pull them down. And then you think about the Flying Corps. My Flying Corps was just as good as his, better probably. The Dragon's quite good, but with Spirit Leech in play, you know, it's kind of hard to say. Might have been able to tilt that in my favor, but even the Treekin, which were pretty well armored, you can see they weren't dead. They just routed because there was too much. They were just getting overwhelmed, and it worked out extremely well in my favor. What do y'all think? Do you like those Chaos armies? Yep, I liked them too. And you know where they came from? That was a suggestion from Ninja Hun's guide. So some of you, I think it's funny, and don't get me wrong, like if you all don't want to watch Ninja Hun, you don't have to. I'm not here necessarily to tell you to go watch him, but I'm saying if you want to learn more about multiplayer and you're not like a high tier player, you would probably learn a lot from him. And I demonstrated that there. Those 2 armies that I bring are just good armies, and it made it very easy for me to win those battles in that case. You're not always going to win a battle easy from just an army pick, but it's kind of nice, you know, to understand why those armies were good. And that's what I was trying to explain. The Forsaken are very, very good versus the no armor infantry of the elves. What would be dangerous against just the elves? The Durthu and Treekin build would be dangerous, based on what I just brought there, because there was no armor piercing really. Now, the Shaggoth build does have some armor piercing and anti-large. I don't know how it'd work. It'd be interesting to see that come up. Hope you all enjoyed this. Heir of Carthage signing out for now. I'll be back with more battles soon. See you then.